Uchenna Diana on the board. Now, of course, let us keep the ball rolling. Let's talk about what is happening in the Nigerian Premier Football League. Yes, it's the NPFL. Yes, throughout the weekend, there were matches played, and there were also, of course, the physical aspect of it. Beyond just football, a lot of things happen in the Nigerian Professional Premier Football League. Yes, and on Saturday, it was Heartland who actually defeated Kano Pillars 2-0. What a match it was for Heartland, and Bendel Insurance were held to a 1-1 draw by Rangers, who were visiting. Yes, and on Sunday when everything went down, it was Plateau United. It was a 0-0 draw with Kwara United. Now, Rivers United, who actually defeated Remo Stars, like I said, that match was the match of the week, if you ask me. Now, Rivers United, the second, one of the top three, and then we have Remo Stars, who are top of the block, and Rivers United eventually did get their 3 points, but this time around it's against number 1. Number 2 defeated number 1. Oh my God! And it was 1-0 in favor of Rivers United. Lobby Stars actually did play out a 1-1 draw with Sunshine Stars. Castina United also played out a 1-1 draw with Bayelsa United. Niger Tornadoes, now they defeated El Kanemi Warriors 2-0. Nasarawa United also defeated Akwa United 2-0. And Enyimba decided it is against Abia Warriors. Their brothers, their counterparts in the same state, and they defeated Abia Warriors 2-1. Now, actually, another, should I say, shocker of the Nigerian Premier Football League was Shooting Stars taking on Ikorodu FC. Now, that match did end 0-0, but a lot of things went down. Now, what happened? Now, there have been confirmed reports of disturbing and violent scenes that took place at the match taken about Shooting Stars against Ikorodu FC on Sunday at the Lekan Salami Stadium in Ibadan. Now, it was actually reported and alleged that after the match, yes, after 19 minutes, now the supporters of Shooting Stars FC decided to take advantage of the inadequate security, and they went wild. Yes, what happened? They started throwing trash and bottles at the center referee. Yes, it was a female center referee they had on Sunday, and they believed that they deserved at least 1 penalty according to reports, and they were throwing trash and bottles at the center referee, who was eventually hit and had to be escorted out of the stadium by security personnel, talking about not just the police, but was also talking about the soldiers being involved. Now, it did not end there. Now, the fans of Shooting Stars went as far as leaving Ikorodu FC players locked in the dressing room for more than 2 hours. Yes, an hour at least they spent in the dressing room with the lights turned off, and it was said that Ikorodu FC players and officials were held hostage for more than an hour. And then, of course, they did take the attack way beyond the dressing room and the stadium, and it was said that they vandalized and destroyed the Ikorodu City bus, and also attacked some of the traveling fans and supporters of Ikorodu FC who came all the way from Lagos to Ibadan. Now, the violence started immediately after the final whistle of match day 32, and several supporters were said to have been injured, but one was much more severe than the others. Now, the Ikorodu FC players were eventually rescued and escorted from the angry crowd of supporters by security personnel, talking about soldiers that were sent to rescue them from such a violent attack. Yes, so far NFF is yet to release a statement of what went wrong and what went down, but all we know is that this is not matches, this is not how it's supposed to be. Now, of course, in the wake of the incident, now Shooting Stars have actually given out a statement. Yes, they've laid out a statement saying what happened was not exactly the way it was written. Now, they said in the wake of the incident that took place after a match with Ikorodu City of Lagos, we, the Shooting Stars Sporting Club of Ibadan, are compelled to explain the reason why the players and officials of Ikorodu City stayed long in the dressing room after Sunday's match at the encounter at the Lekan Salami Stadium. This is to debunk the claims that the players and the officials were held hostage and to state that they, alongside our team and the match officials, were deliberately asked to stay put owing to the tense atmosphere outside the stadium after the game. We wish to clearly state that through this medium that no players and officials were held hostage after Sunday's match. We actually needed to take such steps as a safety measure for the two teams and match officials after we got information about the rowdy and unsafe and unconducive atmosphere outside. Now this is part of the statement that Shooting Stars have released, debunking the rumor saying that they were not involved in the violent scenes and attack that took place on Sunday against Ikorodu City FC. Now, while we wait for a conclusion on that investigation regarding the match, let's give you the table of what is happening right now in the Nigerian Premier Football League. Remo Stars are still topping the league despite their loss to Rivers United. But this time around, the gap has been closed in. It is now 5 points gap. Yes, Rivers United are taking second place with 55 points. Abia State Warriors lost to Eyimba FC, but this time around they are still third on the log with 50 points. Shooting Stars, despite what has happened and the 0-0 draw they played with Ikorodu FC, and it was still 48 points for Shooting Stars and they are fourth on the log. Now Rangers are rounding up the top 5 with 46 points and a goal difference of 10. Ikorodu City FC are making it top 6. Yes, they have 46 points after playing 31 games. And then on the 17th on the log will be Heartland FC. Despite their win, they are still 17th on the log with 38 points. Aqua United having 37 points, 18th on the log, and Sunshine Stars are taking the 19th place with 35 points. Lobby Stars, they are still at the bottom of the league. Yes, bottom of the league table with 24 points, a goal difference of minus 18 after playing 31 games. Now, of course, it is still worth noting that a lot of things will be going on still in the African continent. While things are going on in the Nigerian front, we still have things that will be going on beyond Nigeria. And what do we have to tell you? Yes, the Under-20 AFCON will still be going on despite Ivory Coast pulling out of the hosting rights. Yes, Ivory Coast did submit a letter to the Confederation of African Football, that is CAF, stating that they would be unable to host the Under-20 African Cup of Nations, that is the Under-20 AFCON, after being the host that have been selected for the games just a month before it actually was supposed to commence. But this has actually disqualified them from the tournament, and the hosting rights have eventually been given to Egypt. Yes, Egypt did submit a bid last year to host this same tournament, but they were turned down as it was given to Cote d'Ivoire because they were much more prepared. Now Egypt are now the hosts that will be playing against Nigeria on the 30th of April. So Nigeria will be facing the host. Now the Flying Eagles have actually called up 35 players so far for the final training camp ahead of the 2025 Under-20 AFCON later this month in Egypt. Now, of course, 7 of those players are professional players from abroad. Yes, they are not home-based players, but majority of the squad is made up of players who won the WAFU Zone B Under-20 qualifiers last year in Togo. Now, 11 of those players from the qualifiers are led by their captain Daniel Mbamayi, who will be part of the training camp which opened yesterday, talking about Monday in Abuja. Now these players include number 1 goalkeeper Ebenezer Hakot, Adamu Maigari, we have also Kenneth Ibokwe, Sabi Muhammad, Suleiman Alabi, and Nasiru Salihu, Olise Divine, Bidemi Amole, and Clinton Jefta. These are the 11 players who were also involved in winning in the WAFU Zone B Under-20 qualifiers last year in Togo. Now, of course, we know the Flying Eagles are in the group of death. Yes, in Group B, and alongside Nigeria in Group B will be Egypt, Morocco, and South Africa. And these are not just ordinary teams, but of course, Nigeria's Flying Eagles are not ordinary team as well. And then, of course, we already know that the AFCON Under-20 begins in Cairo, Egypt on the 27th of April. That is this month, and it will be ending on the 18th of May 2025. Yes, we will be giving you the rundowns and of course all the things that will be happening right there in Egypt when the Flying Eagles eventually land in Egypt for the first game of the tournament. Now, of course, leaving the shores of Africa, let us talk about what will be going on later today by 8 p.m. Yes, not talking about the Champions League. The Champions League, yes. Bayern Munich will be taking on Inter Milan. A Bayern Munich team that would not feature Jamal Musiala this time around as he's out with an injury, probably to the end of the season. Who knows? And of course, there's Arsenal facing Real Madrid. Arsenal star boy Bukayo Saka is back in the team, and so far Arsenal has not recorded any new injuries except Gabriel, who is out for the rest of the season with another injury. Yes, the defender Gabriel will not be available for that match against Real Madrid. And on Wednesday it will be Barcelona taking on Borussia Dortmund by 8 p.m. as well. Now we also have Paris Saint-Germain who will be facing Aston Villa, who also has Marco Asensio on loan right there in England. Now Aston Villa and Arsenal are still the remaining English teams in the tournament, talking about the Champions League. And of course we have also two Spanish teams and two German teams as well. Inter Milan and PSG are the only teams representing their country so far in this tournament, talking about the quarterfinals of the Champions League. Do make sure that you will be watching the match by 8 p.m. so you can give us your opinions and feedback later on this week. Yes, that is what will be going on. Now, still worthy to note that of course, a lot of things have also been happening in England. Yes, Southampton have parted ways with their manager, none other than Ivan Juric, after their relegation to the championship. Now Southampton have actually been relegated to the championship, the Sky Bet Championship, which is the English League 2 of their football league. Now Southampton are the first team for the first time in English history to be relegated with 7 games remaining to go. Yes, 7 games remaining to go. And of course, talking about yesterday, Monday Night Football, Leicester City fell to Newcastle. 3-0 defeat to Newcastle, and this time around Leicester City are also the first team in English history to actually lose 8 games in a row without scoring even 1 goal. Wow, what a record to break, the kind of record you do not wish to break, but that is exactly what Leicester City have broken. Yes, they are losing and they keep losing, and obviously they have just 7 more games to prove if they are still worth staying in the EPL. Now Leicester City are currently at the bottom of the league right there with Southampton, but they are having much more points and they are 19th on the log. Ipswich Town are also 18th on the log with 20 points. While Leicester City have 17 points and a goal difference of -45. Now Southampton, like I said, have been relegated, but they have parted ways with Ivan Juric, who was sacked following their relegation to the championship. Now, if we do remember, Juric replaced Russell in December and has only been in charge for 108 days and 14 games, and he has only won 1 game in 14 for Southampton before his sacking, talking about being relegated. Now, Simon Rusk is now the new interim coach and manager, and he has chosen none other than Adam Lallana. Yes, Adam Lallana, who was a former Liverpool player and Brighton player, and who is currently an attacking midfielder for Southampton. He's now one of the assistant coaches. Talk about promotion, if you ask me. Now, of course, with this, we come to the end of our sports drive today. Thank you for joining. Thank you for listening. Join us again tomorrow for more sports news updates. Bye for now. See you some other time.